I decided to make a sequel to my Dishonored without powers video, and as we all know, sequels are always as good as the original.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
The rules for this run are the same as before, but I'll run through them again in case you haven't watched the other video, which I'm going to shamelessly plug here for that specific scenario. I'm not allowed to use any powers or bone charms, but any other method of completing the game is allowed. Let's get started. After walking the Green Mile, me and my dear old dad place some roses at Mama Coldwin's memorial. I take a seat on my throne, which looks evil with a capital E. Maybe if you want the citizens of your city to trust you, don't buy a chair that this guy looks at home in. I get a visit from the Duke of Karl and his General Grievous Birds, who brought me an unexpected guest, my evil aunt. She starts a coup, and Corvo decides to break the rules by using powers to kill the guards. Because of this, I chose to play as Emily. Corvo gets turned to stone, and I get locked up. But the invalids didn't lock the windows, so after using this mistake to escape, I spend the next few minutes giving the guards some new orifices. I stupidly decided to play through the game on the hardest difficulty setting because I hate myself. So I get spotted immediately because, as we established in the last run, I'm about as useful as a paper hammer when I can't use the powers. I pick up my signet ring from Ramsay's corpse, open the secret vault, grab my murder tools, then make my way through the smog-filled streets of Dunwall. And like a rat in a house full of cats, I was spotted and killed immediately. After a few attempts, I finally managed to climb up to this platform and hitch a ride on a train. I jumped into the ocean, climbed aboard the dreadful whale, said hi to Megan, then after some 40 winks, the outsider tries smooth-talking me with the promise of absolute power. But I reject his emo-looking ass, and I don't think he expected this because he just stares me down awkwardly. Then he gives me a gift, which turns out to be a clockwork heart possessed by the spirit of my dead mother. As far as gifts go, I vibe with it. After this, Megan takes me to Karnaca to hunt down the Crown Killer. I make my way across the rooftops, then I decide to stop delaying the inevitable and just cut down these guards before they spot me, and I have to do it anyway. I make my way through a bloodfly infested building, which is my worst nightmare. Every time I see these bloodfly hives, it makes every hair on my body stand on end, and I want to peel my skin off with a potato peeler. Eventually, after many deaths, I hitch a train ride, murder an entire building full of guards, then get the tram to the nut house, and sneak around the side to climb into an open window. After this, I get spotted again because I'm trash, so I just went for a Punisher method and just killed everyone. I grab the key to the recuperation area, and when I get there, I come across Alexandria. But because I have hindsight, I already know she's a crown killer, so I stabbed her. Then I accidentally killed 2 guards with 1 crossbow bolt, and returned to the ship. Now I have to go rescue Solakov from the nutty professor. The second I get off the boat, I spend a good 3 minutes trying to find a way onto the rooftops, because my monkey brain thinks height equals stealth, which is normally the case, but at this difficulty the enemies have a perception level that birds of prey would call unnatural. Eventually I gave up, and this woman tries luring me into an alleyway. Now I might be gullible, but a child wouldn't fall for this. So I make my way round to the back entrance, and lo and behold, there's 2 idiots lying in wait to ambush the next poor schmuck she lures in. So for the sake of justice, I slaughter them without mercy. Then I head over to the black market to buy some upgrades, but the shopkeep won't let me because Paolo is coming to cause a ruckus. Paolo is the leader of the Howlers, a lowly street gang. Now I was annoyed at this because I just wanted to buy my upgrades and do one. So when Paolo turned up, I gave him a steely kiss, then he turned into a swarm of rats and they tried biting my toes off. At this point I was so annoyed with the woman who owned the shop that after I bought my upgrades, I went and grabbed a whale oil tank from the wall of light in the area and used it to blow a hole in her shop. I stole everything that wasn't nailed down, then I ride the tram to Upper Aventa. And now I have no choice but to find a code for the gate to continue forward for 2 reasons. A, the code is random, so I wouldn't be able to memorize it from the last time I played, and B, the only other way forward is by using Blink, so I head into this guard station to find it. Well, I say find it, I already know where it is, it's on the top floor in an office, so I kill the guards, grab the code, open the gate, and take the tram to the Clockwork Mansion. I swear, Solakov better be worth all this trouble or I'll throw him into the ocean for the hagfish. Jindosh's Clockwork Mansion is the easiest mission by far. Not only can you use the shifting walls and floors to your advantage to sneak around unseen, but Jindosh is incredibly easy to get to and equally as easy to kill. After shooting him with a crossbow to lure him over, I pounce on him and slide my blade through his big brain. His clockwork soldiers are massive pushovers too. just shoot their heads off and drop assassinate them. After spending a while messing around with the moving walls, I managed to get myself stuck on this pipe underneath the map. Then when I fall off and die, I came to the conclusion that maybe I should stop faffing around and go rescue Solakov. So I make my way through a maze that cheats, and when I get to him, I have the shock of my life. My god, he looks like he's been doing nothing but hit the crack pipe for the past 10 years. Then he has an aneurysm, I carry him back to Megan, then we return to the dreadful whale. There's no rest for the wicked, however, as when I get there I'm transported to the void, and Delilah starts whining about her childhood, probably to garner some sympathy for her actions. But I don't pay any attention to her. Then I return to find Solakov chilling, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Then Megan starts shooting me some information about the coup. She tells me that I have to assassinate Brianna Ashworth, one of Delilah's lieutenants. Once I arrive on location, a guard spots me as I'm walking up these stairs, and once I deal with him, the dock workers decide to attack me as well. Once they're dead and gone, I stab my way across a roof, turn off the wall of light, then kill an overseer and throw his body into a bath. Then I get spotted by a security tower. Whilst trying to make a run for it, I bump right into some of Delilah's witches, then I get killed because they decided to gang up on me with the guards. On the next try, I managed to sneak past the tower and got my revenge on the bitches. Now I have to get past another wall of light. And this took me many tries. Eventually, I managed to rewire it, and now I have to go into a building infested with gravehounds and witches. The problem with fighting witches is that when you aggro one of them, you aggro all of them. So I died a few times, to say the least. Eventually, I managed to find a way to stealth kill all of them, then Brianna Ashworth decides to teleport to me and try and kill me. But it's already over, as I have the high ground. Now that she's dead, I listen to her insane ramblings, make my way back to Megan, and return to the ship. After admiring Solakov's artistic prowess, we have a nice relaxing ride in a skiff to the Dust District. I turn some guards into nuggets, then meet up with Megan, who presents me with a choice. I can either kill Paolo and dump him at the Overseer's doorstep, or kill Vice Overseer Byrne and dump him at the Howler's doorstep. The purpose of this is to get one of the groups to help me get into Aramis Stilton's manor to find Delilah's secret. Now, as you might have guessed, I'm still a little peeved at Paolo for not only disrupting my would-be simple shopping experience, but also the toe nibbling. So I make my way through another bloodfly infested building, then proceed to spend the next 10 minutes turning Paolo's base into a meat factory. To kill Paolo, you have to do it twice in one day. But I've already killed him once already, so I said fuck that noise and shot him with a sleeping dart, causing him to teleport to another location. When I catch up to him, I sock him one in the jaw for annoying me, then coat the floor with his blood. And now that he's a glorified paperweight, I stroll right into Byrne's office and dump him at his feet. He gives me the code to the Jindosh lock, and once I open it, I head into the Cheese Mansion. After wandering around for a bit, I find Aramis sitting at a piano rambling off some nonsense, which makes him not so different to me in that respect. Because he's so insane, however, I need to find an alternate way of getting the information. Enter the coolest game mechanic ever, the timepiece. If Arcane Studios made a whole game with this mechanic, I would buy it in a heartbeat. The fact that this is only used once for this mission is a travesty, and I will happily die on this hill. Also, because this is mechanical and not technically a power, I abused the shit out of it to scare the piss out of the guards in the past. After having way too much fun with that, I head to the garden, and once I get the combination to the study, I decided to make sure Aramis didn't end up an insane hermit, by killing him, effectively changing the future. And now the mansion looks cleaner, with less bloodflies, which I won't complain about. I unlock the study, then watch some grayscale flashbacks of Delilah and her cohorts. And now I know her secret, and more importantly, how to turn her neck into a spigot. I leave the mansion, have a brief encounter with the emo dropout, then I return to Megan and Solakov and they take me back to the ship. Now it's time to take out the Duke of Karnaca, and make Delilah mortal again. But first, I have to get to his estate. Before I do though, I thought I'd buy some more upgrades. But after trying for ages to get into the shop, I found out that this particular black market quest is bugged to shit. No matter how much I tried, the guy inside the shop kept smashing something and knocking himself out. So eventually I just left it. I rewired the security tower to blow all the guards into several pieces, then made my way to the Grand Palace. This part isn't too hard, mainly because there's a lot of verticality to it. And unlike most of the other levels, you can access these areas without using Blink. In fact, this part was so easy, I managed to beeline straight for the Duke's chambers without killing anyone. Then I introduced myself to the dastardly dictator, and I must say, it was Slice to make his acquaintance. I'm sorry. Now all that's left to do is find Delilah's effigy and restore her mortality. Luckily, the Duke has it conveniently locked in his vault, and what's even more convenient than that is that his vault is right next to his bedroom. Once I get in there, I let my mother's spirit go free after she gives me a lecture for killing so many people.
My daughter, you are becoming everything I fought against.
Then replace it with Delilah's, and now my clockwork heart is giving me sass.
You will never gain back what you lost here.
After waiting for my ride to show up, I return to the dreadful whale and prepare for my triumphant return to Dunwall. After a solitary ride on a skiff and a brief encounter with some wolfhounds, I make my way through the ramshack streets of my former city, then I have a right shit time trying to get into the palace. There are tons of witches crawling around the area, and they spotted me constantly. Fighting these Wiccan wenches is no joke, especially on this difficulty. In fact, it got to the point where I had to just run past them straight into the palace. But there was no respite from the chaos inside, as the magical mongoloids and their clockwork cockheads kept trying to kill me. Luckily, I was able to deal with them on a more one-to-one basis, so I didn't have too much trouble. I restore power to the lift, fight through some more witches, then head back to the throne room for my final confrontation with the black sheep of the family. I sneak up on Delilah and restore her spirit to her body. Then she challenges me to a fight inside this painting, which was an incredibly stupid idea, because if you do a 180 when you enter the painting and scale up this weird cliff, you can find Delilah T-posing up there. So after snapping her neck, I save my dad from his fate as a draft excluder, and with that, I beat Dishonored 2 without powers. After finishing this run, I found myself in an odd position, because sure, Dishonored 2 was made with a no powers run in mind, but it just doesn't hit the same as the first game. But that's probably my bias talking, as I prefer the first game over the second anyway. But regardless, I had a fun time playing this, and I'm looking forward to making more videos on the Dishonored series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel if you do. And if there's a specific run you want to see, or you just want to say hi, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.